podcast character designs done by Demon Artie. Be sure to follow her over on Twitter at ArtieDemon. Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
15 PCA.
ATIP 454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. So Netflix has a new superhero movie, and it's not based off of anything, Thunder Force. And first of all, I wasn't really going to talk about this, but then I saw it popping up on Twitter, and everyone's like, oh, that's just so stupid. This is so dumb. They're trying to make it where, fat people, superheroes, whatever. Guys, it's a comedy.
It's funny.
It's funny. I laughed.
Did you see? Yeah, I laughed. It made me smile, and they actually make fun of the fact that they're heavy, like funny jokes.
Very Chris Farley.
Yeah, no, Chris Farley, Beverly Hills Ninja, stuff like that, where he would get into situations where, yes, he's doing these amazing things, but at the same time, like, he'll get stuck on something or break a chair.
Or it almost seems kind of weird. Like, you would never picture in a million years these people would be fighting crime. And it's kind of funny.
And I don't know what the problem is. Like, people were kind of getting a little bitchy about it, and like, no, guys, this isn't what you...
No, this is a throwback to the comedies of the 90s. Yeah. That's what this is. Yeah. This is nothing... For so far I said that, I saw no SJW, none of that in this.
Yeah, it wasn't...
None of this. Crap.
And even if they did have a little bit of that, these are their own original characters and their own original story.
Yeah.
They didn't, like, go and make Wonder Woman look like one of these ladies. Like, Melissa McCarthy's not playing Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So, guys, calm down.
And again,
it's just a comedy.
And we can tell, too, that the main bad guy's a male, but it's like one of those things where it's a comic book movie. So, okay, I don't care if the guy's a little bit more...
But it's not presented in a way that makes it like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like demeaning. And they're not even really mean to the girls either. It's just lighthearted, funny things.
What would happen if you were a bigger person. And, it was like, when we get to the part that actually made me laugh the loudest, but that's towards the end of the trailer. So it opens up and we get Melissa McCarthy's characters that got some big business. And she's like, oh, I need to talk to this woman. Well, who are you? I'm her best friend. So I guess her and Octavia Spencer's character were friends when they were little kids, but I guess they're not friends now. She's probably there saying, oh, can you please give me a job or something? I don't know the situation.
She looks kind of like out of a job kind of look to her.
But she's like, oh, wow, you're doing really well for yourself. Look at all this stuff. And I guess she's like a scientist and she made like a super serum, like a Captain America serum. She's like, oh, that's pretty cool. She's like, okay, I have to take like some business call. Don't touch anything. And like an idiot, she's like screwing with all the buttons.
Remember I saw like a high-tech place like that. Okay, I'm not touching a single thing.
But she's like messing with everything and she accidentally injects herself with the super serum. And she goes, that was the only one for super strength. So now Melissa McCarthy's character is like insanely strong. We're not talking like Spider-Man strong. We're talking almost, because she throws a bus across like what, half the...
I would say at least Juggernaut, if not a little stronger.
Yeah. So
Juggernaut strong.
She's insanely strong, but of course she kind of loves it at first and everything, but she's kind of out of shape. So she's super strong, but she's also not very, she didn't have a lot of stamina.
Yeah, it's so funny because when she did something with a lot of strength, like, oh, I hurt myself.
Yeah, she like pulled her groin. She's like, oh...
Because that would really happen if you weren't like trained. You just got superpowers. Because
you'd have to get in shape. You'd have to.
So you're gonna be like, oh.
So she's like, oh, cool. I'm gonna be like a superhero. Then her friend Octavia Spencer's character has the power of invisibility. So they're gonna go out and like stop crimes. And the first crime they stop is like someone's holding up like a convenience store.
Classic.
So when she turns invisible, she has like a taser. And she goes and tases people. She tases this dude in the face, and she doesn't stop.
Stop! You gotta stop.
And she even freaks out herself because it's scary to be in that kind of situation and like seeing the guy's face and her face. Like,
she's like, oh my god, stop! She's like, I don't know how to stop.
Another person told me, please don't film this. Please don't record this.
Like, you should have killed that dude.
Yeah,
but of course, this is like a PG-13 comedy. Of course, the guy's dead, but that totally would have killed that guy. So the news like, oh, there's real life superheroes, and they're kind of like living that superhero life. But I'm guessing some people got the powers and they're bad guys. So now we see some white girl with like, looks like electricity powers.
Yeah, or something.
Then we saw another dude who had like red eyes. I don't know what his power is. I'm assuming he's super strong too.
Yeah.
But it looks like a lot of fun.
The thing is, you notice none of the characters feel forced. It doesn't feel like a shoe, and it feels like this is natural. This should be happening.
Then they have like a cool Lamborghini. Is like they're like,
but it's like really low to the ground
because the Lamborghinis are small cars. So they get to like the place where they're gonna like fight a bad guy. Then they have to like. They can like slide out of the car because it is tough getting out of Lamborghini for a normal person of normal size. When you're like a bigger person, it's just like, oh, we got to get a different car. This is not going to work out.
See, if Batman was driving this car, I'd have no problem, but this is not the case.
Well, that's what I love about the joke. It kind of made fun of that without pointing out, like, oh, yeah, like, because he's skinny, he could just pop out of a Lamborghini. These girls literally can't.
Bruce Wayne would be no problem.
Yeah, no problem.
that's funny.
That is
and that's okay because it's an actual real problem, but they're also super powerful, but it shows at the same time they're still themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't see the issue with why people hate this so much.
This is also going to be on Netflix. I'll give it a watch. I'll definitely watch this.
This would actually fun. This would be really fun. Also, a lot of the other jokes, the fact that she threw the bus and she realizes, oh crap, that's going to keep going.
It's going to land somewhere.
Yeah, and I don't know.
You're like screaming. She's like, oh no, but it can't.
And I know this is a comedy, like we said, and I love that. But then, you're seeing women make mistakes. Oh my goodness, can that be possible?
She made
a lead in a movie make a mistake.
She threw something and it probably hurt someone.
Yeah, it's probably killed a lot of people. You see those screams you heard? Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And then the other joke was when one of the villains is fighting them. He's like, oh, what's that smell? She's like, oh, sorry, we don't know how to clean the suits.
Yeah, they're like special fitted and we can't clean them. You know, just hit that with some Febreze or something. He's like, oh my goodness.
Because if you think about it, you're constant sweaty, you know, man.
Now, I know these are like supposed to be superhero costumes, but see, when you look at that and then you look at like a character like Tilly, see, you could look good in something like a big costume. As long as it fits you, it looks fine.
Yeah.
Because in Star Trek Discovery, Tilly, you'd be muffin topping pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I know.
Just one size bigger, you'd look so much better.
Yeah.
And, you know, you see their costumes, even though they're like hard, plastic looking like superhero costumes, they don't look bad. No. I mean, they're all black. I wish there had been some more color.
Yeah, but
they look pretty good.
They
look good in their costumes.
Like I would say, like again, like you said in the past with other shows, very high quality Comic-Con type costume.
Yeah,
like
they're really good,
really good.
So this looks like it could be a lot of fun. I'm gonna laugh. And I'm going to enjoy myself. So it's not going to be like, it needs to be an endgame type. That's the problem with superhero films. As much as I like the MCU stuff, I can see the negative impact.
It's a double-edged sword.
Because now everyone needs these giant, humongous, epic films. They got to be the most amazing, epic thing ever. How about we just have a fun superhero film where fun things happen? That's how much I love Shazam so much. Because it was a small story about this one hero fighting this one guy. And it wasn't like this world-ending event.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the thing is also too, I think what gets me mad, we're kind of, like you said, stuck in that mindset. Because when we have war movies, not all war movies are like Saving Private Ryan, these big epic things. No, some are small, contained stories. So no one expects them all to be big epics.
You don't need $400 trillion budget and all these things. Just
sometimes you don't.
But for superhero movies, they're stuck on that.
You don't need to focus on the whole war. You can take little battles and just make that the whole.
Yeah,
war.
exactly.
And like I said, this could be a small town thing that happens where it's not like they make a grand universe like defense force.
And even the thing that made me laugh a lot at the beginning because they're singing "Seal," all of a sudden it blows up on the
it's like some songs playing.
It blows up.
But here's the thing, though. I understand that Melissa McCarthy's character probably has tough skin because of like the strength. But like Octavia Spencer could just turn invisible, so she could still be killed by like a stray bullet, right?
Well, I think if you notice, I think she didn't move too much the other character, but she did. Like she flew back. It was like,
I wonder if they get any other additional powers.
So I wonder. I'm wondering. Like I'm assuming there's probably some evil corporation that's like the other side, and it's gonna be over the top and stupid and silly, but it's a comedy,
and it's also their own property. Yeah. It's fine. Let them do what they want.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That saves a lot for me. Oh, you hate this because it's just a woman. No, because you took an established character that was something and you changed it. Like, there's no establishment here, so I don't care as much.
Exactly. Could you imagine if they didn't remake Ghostbusters but made their own little thing about them hunting things?
Monsters, and it wasn't ghosts, and it was like ghouls or something?
We would have been fine.
It would have been so much better.
I probably would have the jokes would have been deadpan. I would have liked it, but at least it had been an original idea. At least it had been their own thing.
That makes the world a difference when it comes... At least to me personally, and I know there's a lot of other people out there too, when you just see something and it's like, oh, it's its own little thing, and so it gets away with being a little more silly, a little more irreverent, because there's no original source material. There's no guidelines.
Yep.
So they just make their own.
And also, I'm hoping that this thing gets made into like even if it's a small print run, like a comic book, that would be funny.
Because this looks like pretty funny.
Yeah, it looks funny.
And both... Melissa McCarthy's hilarious. She's like, like a Chris Farley type. Lots of physical comedy. She's a funny lady. And Octavia Spencer can do dramatic. And she can do funny. So I think they're a good buddy thing. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be really funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like there's a lot of superhero tropes you can make fun of and kind of do light touches like they've done in the movies. Because there's so many. There's so many that you can do. I think it would be a great little mini comic or even...
And the thing is, all I'm expecting is a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Especially if it's on Netflix.
Yeah. I'm not expecting the stars and the moon and everything else. I'm just an average.
And the thing is, I'm glad PG-13 because we don't need the vulgar humor.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to have any of that.
And I'm glad because I checked that at the end. It says PG-13. I'm like, glad. I don't need any...
F-bombs. I don't need them. Oh, time for me to pick up a bunch of dudes. And she's like in a bed with like 5 guys. I don't need to see any of that.
Yeah, and the fact, because I'm sorry, I just hated the Kick ASS movie because I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, Kick-Ass... I understand where it was coming from and I understand why it was like important in comics. It's just not my flavor.
No.
It's just not my thing. I like the first Sin City film.
Oh,
because
first thing was
because
good.
the way that it was shot and the way that it really was like the graphic novel in a lot of ways. But it just, not everything has to be this dark and dreary, like, could you imagine real superheroes? You'd have to kill people. We get it.
You can do a lighthearted thing. You don't.
And
have
this
to
is that
make
lighthearted
it,
version
yeah.
then. And I think they did a bang, like you said, like a 90s silly, classic silly superhero thing. Meteor Man, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like this funny thing that happened and some regular person got superpowers and now they're going to deal with it.
And then like the beginning of Hancock, but then that got a little serious at the end. But
Yeah,
like that.
It did get serious then, but it was pretty fun
Yeah.
all the way up to like, they were like Egyptian gods and like, what the heck is that all
Almost
about?
like angels, almost.
Yeah, like what is this? But this looks like it'd be pretty funny. It's on Netflix,
Yeah.
so we'll probably check it out.
Definitely.